Hello and welcome to the KRES All-Star Football Show. I'm Operations Manager Brad Boyer. During the program, we will turn things over to our coaches to present the KRES All-Star Award to their player or players. This team is voted on by area coaches. After the regular season, we send an open ballot to over 20 coaches in the listening area, and we believe this is a select team, not only in this area, but in the state. Before we begin, I would like to thank my play-by-play staff. They work many hours, not just on Friday nights, in bringing you high school football broadcasts in a prepared and professional manner. I would also like to thank the staff behind the scenes in our customer service and traffic areas who help us promote high school sports. And a big K tip of the cap to our sponsors. And we always encourage you to stop by and visit those businesses and thank them for making our high school sports broadcast possible. And now, the KRES All-Star Football Show.
Boonville's KRES All-Star is Jamison Mckee. He joins us alongside head coach Greg Huff. Coach Huff, take it away. Tell us about Jamison Mckee.
You know, Jamison is a great athlete for us. This year, it was honestly on a personal level incredible to see him grow, not only as an athlete that we already knew that he was, but just his character and his leadership. As the year went on, his role on our team increased, his production increased, and those are the success and the characteristics that I hope he carries on to the next level and everything that he wants to do. Offensively, he was a jack of all trades for us. He played wide receiver. He played some quarterback for us. He'd line up at a wing back and do some blocking and things like that. So the Swiss Army knife, honestly, and very productive. 16 two-point conversions is probably one of the biggest stats that stand out to me for him. You know, that's 3 yards, and we didn't do much when we went for it. It was basically just Q ISO, and here we go. So that says a lot about him physically. And then defensively, he played all over for us. He played safety, played corner, he played outside linebacker. So he's one of those kids that is very talented. If somebody had a great wide receiver, California had a good one, Hallsville had a good one, Blair Oaks had some, and we could put Jamison on those kids, and those kids were non-existent. So those are all-state kids. Jamison's an all-state kid, and when teams wanted to run the football and be 22 guys in the box, Jamison would play an outside linebacker for us and be a great tackler. So his talents on the football field, you know, were fantastic this year. He's received multiple honors and things like that. But again, the biggest thing I'm proud of him for, and it's just his growth, his maturity, and who he is as a leader. And he's definitely leaving a great impact on our program, and that's all you can ask for out of your seniors.
Coach, one question I have, one thing that Jamison told us about in his All-Star interview is the evolvement of roles he's had throughout his high school career from freshman year to senior year. Talk us through that a little bit. What was that transition like from freshman to senior?
You know, it just kind of goes back to, you know, the Swiss Army knife title and more than anything, just the team player, the guy that was willing to play quarterback, you know, early in his career, maybe even 2 years of JV quarterback. Yeah. Oof. And I'm glad he still calls me friend, but 2 years of JV quarterback. And, you know, I think that's one of the toughest positions to play in high school, that you really find out a lot about the kid and their toughness mentally and physically. And then it just came time to get on the field. And like I said, he's always been a kid that's very, very talented, and he's surrounded by talented players as well. So, you know, this was his year and a couple other guys' years to really step up and shine. And, you know, he took the platform and he did it. But, you know, the ability to play every position, again, that's a coach's dream. And his willingness to play those positions is a dream of every teammate. So we have a great one here and really proud of him.
Coach, I know Jamison Mckee is the all-star, but he had a lot of good supporting cast members who alongside with him really made this group special this year.
You know, honestly, the whole unit from top to bottom, from the players to the coaches to our group of seniors, you know, these guys have been very, very successful through their career all the way from little league to junior high and honestly in the high school ranks. So, they've been a big part of what we've done over the 3 and the 4, the 4 total years we've been here, but as sophomores, juniors, and this year as seniors. But, DeJuan Lomax had a fantastic year. Colby Caton, our offensive line, Peyton Hahn, Tyson Ellison, Chandler Stonecipher, Darius Brady. I mean, all those guys, I can keep on going. But all in all, it was a team that I'll always remember. We did some great things. Obviously, pretty cool to beat Blair Oaks week 4 and then make a really good push and put ourselves in a situation to be champions against Hallsville week 9. And then, again, compete against Blair Oaks in the semifinals of districts. We felt like we had a very good shot at getting them again. But overall, we had a great year. Losing week 1 and really having to look at each other as not only coach and players, but players to player, coaches to coaches, and really evaluate who we were and what we were doing and the direction we wanted to go. So, I'm proud of these guys. My heart still hurts for them. They're a group of kids that I wish could be remembered forever, and that's with that championship title. They don't take those away from you, and those are hard to get. We came up short this year, but these guys are champions in my mind. I respect them, I love them, and I'm going to miss them.
Coach, just a broad question for you. In terms of Boonville football, what are the next steps for the program?
4 years is how long I've been here. I should say how long we've been here. Paul Stevens is a big part of what I do and who we are as Boonville football. And these guys, Jamison and others, those guys were freshmen when we came in. And, now they're leaving. Where's Boonville football at? Honestly, after we got beat by Blair Oaks after the playoff game, this man actually sitting right next to me. I remember sitting in my office and our locker room is right next to us. And I overheard him say to other kids in there that you guys are going to be good next year. You guys are talented. You got it figured out. So you don't always hear that when seniors are leaving and teammates are leaving. A lot of times high school kids want to talk down on others and say, you guys aren't going to be good without us. But for this kid to say it at probably when his heart was broken the most, to say, you guys are going to be okay, you guys are going to be good, that gives me confidence as a coach that our culture is where we need to be. And I think culture beats talent every day of the week. And we hope to keep building on that culture and keep being fortunate to coach great kids like this with talent. So I think we'll be all right.
Boonville head coach Greg Huff, Jamison Mckee. Jamison, congrats on the honor. Coach, thanks for the time. On a KRES All-Star presentation, we're joined by Brookfield head football coach Corey Luke, first-year head man of the Bulldogs with his KRES All-Star defensive lineman and senior Austin Tucker. Corey, your KRES All-Star presentation.
Yep, we're definitely excited to be here. I'm glad that Mr. Tucker to my left here was able to get this award. Very prestigious award, and happy to have someone on the list.
So tell us a little bit about Austin's accomplishments and what he brings to the program.
This year he was very dominant for us. He had 86 total tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumbles recovery, 3 sacks. He had a play against Macon where they were kind of driving on us. They had some momentum, and they gave it just a normal handoff to a running back, and he was able to get in the backfield and get a big strip. And ended up taking 60 yards to the house. He was outrunning skilled guys. It was really one of the better plays I've seen at the high school level. And like I said, he was just very dominant for us. All year he was taking on double teams, triple teams. And even when he was getting double and triple teams, he was still able to make plays in the backfield. So. We had a ton of good guys on our team, but without Austin, we definitely wouldn't have had near as much success.
Again, this is a KRES All-Star presentation. We are visiting with Austin Tucker of Brookfield, a senior defensive lineman, and also his head coach, Corey Luke. Corey, as far as being a first-year head coach, having a KRES All-Star and someone who last week also named an All-Stater, how much did that ease the transition for you as a first-time head coach?
I just talked about it. I felt like without what Austin was able to bring to the table, and I don't want to discredit any of the other guys on our team. We had, like I said, we had a ton of other guys that really made plays all year long. But Austin really was able to open that stuff up. And he's receiving this award for defense, but it was definitely both sides of the ball. We've talked about before. We didn't keep pancake stat, but if we did, I've got to believe he led the country in pancakes. It seemed like it was every play. So on offense we were definitely running right behind him, and on defense, he was in the backfield, more than the opposing team would have liked. I got to believe that there's been some quarterbacks and some offensive coordinators that lost some sleep over his skill set and what he brought to the table. So it definitely eased the stress on me because even if I call the wrong play, a guy like that, he's going to make me look good. So it definitely made it a lot easier on me.
And Corey, what did you see from Austin from a leadership standpoint as far as the foundation that he has laid for the guys that come and play for you in your second year as the Brookfield head coach?
He's a natural born leader. What Austin says, he's going to get the young kids to follow. And one thing I want the younger kids to definitely realize what Austin does that I would like to see more kids do is, when he's on the field, he doesn't take plays off. Every single play, it's very important to him, and he just has a motor, and it doesn't matter if it's 1st and 10 or 4th and goal, whatever. He's not going to take plays off, and on that field, it's whistle to whistle, and if everyone played like that, we'd be a lot better off. So, I definitely think just his ability to have that motor and bring it every Friday, is very very key to our success that we did have this year.
Corey Luke, Brookfield head coach, and his KRES All-Star defensive lineman, senior Austin Tucker. Gentlemen, congratulations. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. This is right here. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Congratulations. Again, that's Brookfield's Corey Luke and Austin Tucker.
Thank you.
Welcome back, and joining us now to introduce us to his KRES All-Stars, Beau Gordon and Seth Hayskamp, is the head coach at Centralia, Tyler Forsey. Coach, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, hey, first off, I'd like to say thank you for all the coverage you guys have given, all throughout the years, and especially, this year and so forth. There's a lot of attention is brought to these kids, and, they put a lot of work in, and I appreciate you guys doing all that. To make the KRES All-Star team is a pretty big deal, and I know these guys are very appreciative of it. I've had All-State guys that didn't make this team, so, it kind of says a lot about the talent that we have in the area. So, this is a great squad, and, I was appreciative of you guys giving a couple of my guys a look. First guy we have here is Seth Hayskamp. Seth started for us last year on the O-line, and at center as a sophomore, and that's a pretty big deal for most squads to have a sophomore league at center. And he was able to do it again this year, and really took charge. And the guy we could kind of put a lot of pressure on it and ask a lot of. He had a full plate, and I thought he excelled with the added responsibility that we gave him. Each week in and out, he would have the best grades, and very, very dependable. Snaps were good, his pass blocking is good, run blocking is good. But all that started from last year building up to this year. He definitely took some steps forward in terms of his blocking ability and assignment recognition. He's able to make a lot of calls and really help us out on the offensive end. But his hard work in the weight room, and just again, the guy that's going to do something, you ask him to do something, he's going to give you his best effort each and every play. You can't ask for much more than that. So this is the type of guy that we want on the offensive line. And, I said at the All-State meeting that, if I had 5 Seth Hayes camps, I don't know if we'd ever have to pass the ball because, he gets off the ball well and, really gets after people. And, I'm glad to have him back for another year. So, Seth Hayes camp.
All right.
Next, we've got Beau Gordon. Beau Gordon, he's kind of played a lot of roles for us. He got this at the linebacker spot. Played a big role in offense the last 2 years, and he's been a first-team All-Conference linebacker the last 3 years, which is a pretty impressive statement to say. For the Clarence County Conference, we typically have a lot of good linebackers that year in, year out. In fact, they nominated him as a first-teamer for 3 straight years. It's a pretty big deal. Definitely was the leader of our team this year. When people thought about the Detroit Panthers, Beau Gordon's, name would definitely be the first one to pop up. And, again, we talked about added pressure with Seth. There's a lot more that was added on to Beau this year, especially early on with a lot of guys that did not have a lot of experience returning. It was kind of nice to have someone who'd been there, done that, and, had success, back there. And, we were able to rely on Beau a lot. On both sides of the ball. And, I talked about Seth showing up to weights, Beau Gordon the same exact way. Heard tennis this summer, first guy to show up, and it's not a surprise that these are the guys that were able to make the team, guys that put in the work all summer long, that do everything you ask. They're great guys for coaches like me to have because, we ask them to do something and, they're going to give you their, best to ever play. And, again, what else could you ask for that? Great effort, great talent. Yes, sir. Both these guys are great, dependable players that did a great job representing our program for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Tyler Forsey with his All-Stars, Seth Hayes Camp and Beau Gordon. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. I appreciate everything. Thank you.
And time now for another KRES All-Star presentation as we are joined now by Fayette Falcons head coach Mike Thompson and his All-Stars for this season, Garen, Broman, and Chris Brown. Coach, take it away.
Hey, first off, we'd like to start with, we had a couple great players today to present. First with Garen Broman. Garen was a top running back in the state. Obviously rushed for 2,901 yards, averaged 11.1 yards per carry. He was the top rushing running back in the state. He was top scoring running back in the state and had 3,350 total yards rushing and receiving, which was also top in the state, and ranked him in the top 7 in the country in all categories. So Garen had a huge year for us, was obviously the central figure of our offense, kind of where he went, we were able to go, and had a tremendous year this year. He's had a great 3 years since I've been here. And I know as he goes forward, he's going to have a tremendous career on in college, and very proud of who he is as a person and as a player. Congratulations to Garen Broman. Thank you. And my second guy here, Chris Brown. Chris Brown is, he's a guy that's been playing since he was a freshman, started on the offensive line. He's played 3 years on the offensive line before this year. He played on the offensive line this year as well. He's anchored our center spot. Was a dominant player at the interior line on the offensive side, was also a dominant player on the defensive side. He averaged, I think, 8 tackles per game as a defensive tackle. He had 41 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks this year. He was double teamed virtually every snap throughout the entire course of the year. Had a tremendous year, was one of the top in the country for tackles for loss at a defensive tackle spot. Was definitely what anchored the middle of our defense and also the middle of our offensive line. Great player, great person, and looking forward to all the things that happen for Chris in the future. Congratulations. Thank you.
Guys, I was going to ask a couple questions here. First for you, Coach. Just having these two as seniors this season, having Garen and Chris helping lead what was a terrific season for Fayette Falcons football. Just talk about what these guys have meant as cornerstones for this program since you took over as head coach.
Yeah, they've been central figures for us since I got here. And whether it be by effort, whether it be leading by actions or leading by words, these guys have been getting it done for 3 years. You really started to see these guys evolve as leaders, vocally as well as through actions this year as seniors. And they were both key, really keys to our success. I thought in order for us to kind of get everybody headed the right direction, to get everybody on the same page, to get us going, as a football team where we wanted to go. Last year we felt like we had talent. We didn't achieve what we thought we should have achieved. And this year we felt like we started to go in the right direction, achieving things we're capable of doing. And it really centralizes around these two guys.
And then I was going to ask for Garen first off, just lessons you learned, not just your senior year, but during your run on the Fayette High School football team. What are you taking away that you're looking to apply in college, both academically and hopefully athletically as well?
Honestly, just start to be a better vocal leader, lead by actions as well as vocally. Staying together as a team is a really big thing that we learned this year, and how much it could change an outcome of a season.
And same question for Chris as well. Your takeaways from your time as a Fayette Falcon.
Like he said, be a better leader and show actions better and pick people up when they're down on our team. We became a good team this year. We went through a lot of tragedies, but we all faced it and we beat the odds.
All right, guys, that's my head coach Mike Thompson of the Fayette Falcons with his KRES All-Stars, Garen Broman and Chris Brown. Guys, thanks so much for the time, and congratulations.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you.
Up next on the All-Star program, we are talking Hallsville football. We're joined by head coach Justin Conyers alongside quarterback Tiger Cobb and wide receiver A.J. Austin. Coach, take it away.
Yeah, I'm sitting here next to two guys that had a tremendous season for us and had tremendous careers over the past 2 years as varsity starters for us. When I first got to Hallsville, I got here in their sophomore campaign, and let me tell you what, these two guys got us prepared for varsity football on Friday nights by being great scout team players. They did a tremendous job for us, so I knew when it was going to be their time to step into the role on Friday night that they would really take over and have tremendous careers for us, which they have. And just want to give you guys a few statistics and some accolades these guys have racked up over their careers here. But first of all, talking about Tiger Cobb, our quarterback, first team all-conference athlete in the Tri-County, first team all-district quarterback, third team all-state athlete, and an academic all-state kid as well. What a year he had rushing the football for us this year. He had 221 carries for 1,965 rushing yards, 28 rushing TDs. Every time he touched the ball, 8.9 yards per carry. So almost every time he's touching the ball, he's getting a first down for us. So awesome job, running the ball, running it hard this year. Anybody who played against us knew that was something that they were going to have to worry about and try to take away on Friday night. So very proud of all those accolades that he received this year and his efforts on the field, not to mention the 1,200 yards plus 18 passing touchdowns that he had this year as well. AJ's had a tremendous career on the other side, catching the ball from Tiger, and AJ also became a full-time starter both ways for us for the last 2 years as well. AJ was first team all-conference at wide receiver and defensive back in the Tri-County, first team all-district wide receiver, and he was also an academic all-state kid. This year, he had 52 receptions for 731 yards receiving, 7 receiving touchdowns. On the defensive side, 24 solo tackles for us, 21 assisted tackles, and 3 interceptions to lead the way over there defensively for us. AJ, unfortunately, didn't get to finish his last ball game the way that he wanted it to finish. He ended it with a third-degree AC separation in our last game versus Bowling Green in the district title game, which didn't go our way this year. And so he's just now coming back and getting ready for basketball season. So very proud of his rehab process and the work he's put in to get himself back. So very proud of both of these guys. They have been tremendous leaders both on and off the field for me for 3 years since I've been in this program. Going to really miss these guys, and honestly just missing the camaraderie that us three have had together. The conversations that we share both on and off the field has been life-changing for me. And Hallsville's been a great place, and being a part of their community and coming in, and these guys welcome me with open arms and just being, like I said, tremendous leaders for us. And the academic All-State piece really speaks for itself. Really smart kids. So things that all three of us would really like to say is we want to thank KRES. We want to thank all the coaches who voted for these guys to be KRES All-Stars. And we want to thank you listeners every Friday night for tuning in and listening to us, and us coaches call in and speak after games. So at this time, I want to award these guys their certificates and congratulate Tiger Cobb on being a KRES All-Star. Congratulations, Tiber. And also to AJ Austin on being a KRES All-Star. This is Tiger Cobb and AJ Austin with Hallsville Football. Thank you guys very much for voting them as to be your KRES All-Stars.
Coach, one question I have for you. I asked each of them individually in their all-star interviews, and from a coach's perspective, what about Tiger's play made AJ a better receiver, and what about AJ's play made Tiger a better quarterback?
Well, I think, the big thing, we'll start with AJ first, is he understood, what it was going to be this year with, I think about 3 to 4 games in when we really started to run the ball extremely effectively from the quarterback position. And the things that a lot of wide receivers overlook are, blocking on the perimeter. And AJ took a ton of pride in that, and he also knew the more blocking he was doing, the more yards we were going to get. Then that sets up guys getting kind of, curious in the run game, and those DBs sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. And then now all of a sudden it's AJ's time to go up and make plays. And what AJ always did so well was when the game was on the line, everybody in the stands knew where that football was going. They knew it was going to number 7, and it didn't matter because he was the kid that was going to go up and make a play for us. And then over to Tiger, I think really what set that up for him is, his ability to run the football. We talk about it all the time. The ability to be effective in the run game allows the play action, in our pass game to really open up. And obviously, Tiger knew in those situations, it wasn't me having to tag AJ and play calls. He knew where that ball needed to go when the ball game was on the line.
That is Hallsville head coach Justin Conyers, quarterback Tiger Cobb, and wide receiver AJ Austin. Tiger, AJ, congrats on the honor. Coach, thanks for the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Steve Hopkins, head coach at Harrisburg High School. We are here to congratulate and briefly interview Tanner Fike, as well as Jayce Carr for being recognized in the KRES All-Star team. I want to just talk a minute about Tanner. Tanner finished this year with 105 total tackles, 70 assists, 35 solo, 4 sacks, and really one of the more amazing statistics, 15 tackles for loss. He also finished as our career leader in total tackles with over 400 in his career. The other thing I'll say about Tanner, and then I want to just mention, be a perfect lead-in for Jayce, Tanner never quits on a play. And about a third of his tackles for loss, as well as sacks and so forth over his career, were probably because he continued to go after the ball carrier and then finish the tackle. So that's what I want to say about Tanner in the last 4 years. We've made great progress, and he's been a key ingredient to our defense, and I'm just very proud to see him recognized for this. And I want you to switch seats. I want to talk briefly about Jayce Carr. Jayce is a great wide receiver, and most people know him for that. But this last year at Harrisburg, I think he really took charge of being a key to our third level on the defense. And in much the same way, he became not just a third level player on defense, but he could make tackles on the line of scrimmage. And he ended up this year with 64 total tackles and, just as importantly, 5 interceptions. But maybe the biggest thing is he and Tanner combined on one of the biggest plays in our school season, where we were kind of struggling a little bit against Talton in the mud. And at a key moment, Tanner Fike came through and hit the quarterback as he threw it. Jayce got his second interception of the night, and that pretty much sealed the game for us and allowed us to go on to round 2 in the playoffs, which was the very first home playoff game we'd ever had, which was a big moment for our school. So I want to congratulate Jayce Carr as a defensive back on the KRES All-Star team. And in all honesty, our program it'll be impossible to replace these 2 men with just, one kid for one kid. We'll probably have to have 2 or 3 different young men do the things Jayce did, 2 or 3 different young men do the things Tanner did. So I'd like to thank KRES for recognizing them.
And join us now from Macon High School, first-year head coach Joey Peterson and his KRES All-Star three-timer Christian Rickerberg. Coach, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, we're blessed to have a little talent on the field, and Christian is one of those guys that's really set the bar high for our receiving core and just our whole team as a group. This isn't his first appearance on your All-Star team, but he's glad to have that opportunity. Anybody that can accumulate over 40 touchdowns in a career, and he's a 1,000-yard total offense guy year in, year out. Very deserving of this, but he puts in a lot of hard work and earned every bit of it.
I wasn't ready for you there. Sorry about that. Let me start from the beginning again.
Okay.
I got a follow-up question ready to go. That's all right.
A couple people in here. The bell went off anyway, so we can restart that one.
We'll do a second take, make it sound good. All right, okay. Let me start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, and join us now is Macon's first-year head coach Joey Peterson, his KRES All-Star three-timer Christian Rickerberg. Coach, take it away.
Christian just put in the work this year. He's our leading receiver. He's great for us in the special teams. He does a little bit of everything. Basically, any defense that we play has to game plan towards him, and that just opens up everything else for us. Christian, not his first time on this All-Star team, and he's very deserving of that. He has he's led our team in a lot of offensive stats. He's accumulated over 46 touchdowns in his career. Just puts in the work behind the scenes, and it shows on the field. He's been a key in everything we do for the last 4 years. Had my first year here was 3 years ago, and all the coaches when I first walked in say, "Hey, coach, you got to see this kid. He's just a sophomore, but he's special," and they weren't kidding. He's a great weapon out there and a great kid all around. Very deserving of this award, and very grateful of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I imagine, Coach, with you stepping in as a first-year head coach in the middle of the season, it's nice to have a constant on your team like Christian who can help stabilize things as you're going through a transition.
Oh, absolutely. You get in a spot in a game where you need a big play, that's your guy. And if they're doubling or tripling him, you know somebody else is going to be open, and that's been something we've been able to count on the last 4 years here. He'll be missed, big shoes to fill, but gosh, he's had a heck of a career.
Congratulations to you, Christian, and thank you for your time, Coach. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Macon head coach Joey Peterson and Christian Rickerberg, three-time KRES All-Star.
On a KRES All-Star presentation, we are joined by Marceline head coach Mark Ross, the Lewis and Clark Conference Coach of the Year, and the head coach of the district champion Marceline Tigers, who placed second in Class 1 with a loss to East Buchanan at Faroe Field. His three KRES All-Stars are running back Hunter Nelson, defensive back Jace Bixman, and offensive lineman Landon Gardner. Coach Ross, your presentation.
All right. I would like to introduce the guys here, and I will present them with their certificates here. The first one is Landon Gardner. Next one is Hunter Nelson and Jace Bixman. All right, so I'd like to start with Hunter. Hunter finishes his career at Marceline with 3,371 total yards, good for 6.2 yards a carry, and 43 touchdowns on his career as the starting running back for Marceline the last 2 years. He has been named twice the offensive MVP of our team. And Hunter also finished his career with 308 tackles as a starting linebacker the last 3 years. If I had to describe Hunter, the word that always comes to mind for me is toughness. This guy has been resilient the last 3 years as a starter defensively, and last 2 as the running back for Marceline. And we're definitely going to miss this guy. The next guy I'll talk about is Jace Bixman. Jace finishes his career with 708 rushing yards, good for 8.3 yards a carry, 1,321 receiving yards, good for 14.4 yards per catch, and 22 offensive touchdowns. Defensively, Jace finished his career with 117 tackles and 10 interceptions as the starting safety for the Marceline defense the last 2 years. He has been named the defensive MVP for Marceline and the Special Teams Player of the Year for the team. And then finally, I will finish here with Landon Gardner. Landon finished his career as a starter for the last 3 years. He's been an integral part of the offense that has produced 5,340 passing yards, 8,420 rushing yards, and a total of 190 touchdowns the last 3 years, averaging over 36 points a game. Landon's hard work took him from a non-starter his sophomore year to being one of the most consistent offensive linemen for us the last 2.5 years. All in all, I think the big thing is these guys have all left a legacy here at Marceline, that is going to propel the program into the future of where we want it to be. These guys are everything that our program is about, and we're really excited for the recognition for these 3 guys.
Again, we're visiting with Mark Ross of the Marceline Tigers, second place in Class 1. These guys, all 3 seniors. You had a couple of returning KRES All-Stars who suffered injuries. Fortunately, Wyatt Malloy able to come back for the state run. But this being your first senior class that you were with, just how special has this journey been from 4 conference championships to making a semifinal a couple years ago and now a state championship with the first group that you came in with?
Yeah, the big thing is it's the relationships that you develop. I think the relationships that I have with this group of seniors is different than the first year that I was here at Marceline. You just get more time to develop that and spend time together, and it's just different, especially when you go on a run like this. And I'm just extremely proud of these guys and everything that they've accomplished. Obviously, these aren't the only 3 seniors that have done big things for the program, but we're really excited about this class, and it's certainly going to be a class that I'll miss and one that I'll always remember.
Mark Ross, head coach of the Marceline Tigers, with his 3 KRES All-Stars, Hunter Nelson, Landon Gardner, and Jace Bixman. Thanks so much for the time, and congratulations on all the accomplishments this year, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we're joined here by Mark Twain head coach Austin Leak alongside KRES All-Star offensive lineman Trey Monroe. Coach, I'll throw it over to you. I was Trey so deserving of this KRES All-Star recognition this year, and just how much of an impact did he have throughout the course of this season?
Yeah, Trey was our offensive line leader this year for sure. He played right guard for us. He's a physical kid. Like I say, he's a leader for us. He's a good kid, very unselfish. Not only could he have been, I think, first team all KRES on the offense, but he's just as equally good at linebacker. So huge piece for us, and we're going to miss the heck out of him next year, that's for sure.
As you look back at this season, a 10-win season for you guys getting into the postseason, what were some of the highlights of your season, and just how special of a first season was it for you, and how much of a part did Trey play in that?
Yeah, it was a blast. These guys have been, like I said, a fun group, like Trey just mentioned to you. They've been unselfish since day one. Just a blast to be around. Trey mentioned the energy at practice, and that's just them. They're a fun group. They get along super well, and I was super excited to win 10 games. I thought we were gonna have a good year. I didn't know we were gonna have that great of a year, so. Yeah, Trey was a huge part of it. Trey, like I said, is our leader on the offensive line. Played right guard for us, very physical, played linebacker for us, was a unanimous all-conference linebacker as well. He's a unanimous all-conference guard. He's an all-district guard and linebacker, so he does it all. Unreal player.
Yeah, we're talking with Austin Leak, the head coach of Mark Twain, alongside KRES All-Star offensive lineman Trey Monroe. Trey, once again, congratulations on a special season, and guys, thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Congrats, Trey.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Our next KRES All-Star presentation is with the Milan Wildcats, as we are joined now by head coach John Dabney and his All-Star for this season, Christian Shaparos, the junior kicker with the Milan Wildcats. And time now for the presentation. Here is Coach John Dabney.
Thank you, Colin, and thank you, KRES, and everyone at Central Mo Info for what you guys do, not only in football but all sports and basketball, but in this particular case in football, just the I don't think words can express how grateful people in North Missouri have been through the years to have the end zone shows and let everyone know what's going on and make it not only a big deal, but it's a big deal for the kids. And for you, Christian, to be selected to the KRES All-Star team, we're not talking just Class 1. We're not talking 2. We've got Classes 3 and 4, I believe, that are all involved and eligible to be selected for this. And it is elite team. That word gets thrown out too much with these basketball deals, but it is an elite team to be involved with. And, Christian Shaparos, a young man that has not only got the talent, but he just doesn't rest on his laurels with his talent. He'll go to different camps. He'll take what they give him. He'll come back and work on it himself. And he's been a 2-year all-conference, all-district performer. And I can't see how this young man is not going to be on an all-state selection this year. Christian was 18 or 19 in PATs. And I can't remember the one that was missed. I can't even remember if it was a snap or we got it off. And I think it was maybe not all on his doings, but there's a lot that goes into these kicks. You got to have good snap and good holds. But he was 5 for 8 in field goals. His long was of 38. And we think we missed one from 40 and 45. But to go for those as well from 40 and 45, you've got to have the confidence and the person taking care of it. And I think it was a pretty windy night on one of those, but the one from 38 and the same night he had one, I believe, from 30 or 32 on that really wet week 10. And our field was really torn up. So with this Patriot jersey you see here, he's a little Adam Vinatieri-esque in those kind of conditions and came through. And that one from 38 went over the pole vault runway. That thing would have probably been good from somewhere probably between 50 and 55. I mean, that thing was he drilled it, and to get the plant foot down and everything is. Christian's also a young man that does a great job with our kickoffs. We do a lot of different onsides and have a little strategy to what we do on our kickoffs. And we learned real quick in week 1. We gave up a kick return, and we had people there. But Christian's so good, he out-kicks our coverage. And we've got to, especially with some of the inexperience we had, we learned real quick not to take anything away from the young man that returned the touchdown on us in week 1, because he did that again in week 2. But, we've also have to strategize a little bit when they're this good. And literally, guys can out-kick your coverage. But I'm just extremely proud of him. Sky's the limit as well. I don't see this young man winning some awards and letting it go to his head. It's probably going to do anything but continue to work even harder to get, to the next level. And, he's just, I can't say enough great things about him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him make more. And we've had a good run of great kickers here at Milan, and he is probably, as far as going to camps and coming and getting the bag of footballs and working at it, and he's probably the best we've had. And that's saying something, because we've had some all-state kickers and guys that have Misher record holders as well. So, his work ethic is unmatched, and I think he's got good examples, though. Those kids ahead of him have been good examples that will set the bar to try to reach some of their goals as well. So if we can keep scoring touchdowns, he can keep making extra points, and we get in good field position, he's in position to make field goals. I think that's sometimes he's just a great weapon. I know at Polo this year was a huge district game. I think that one was from 30, maybe 34. And that wasn't the most pleasant weather down there either, but it was he drilled that one and put us up an extra score and made a big difference in that game. And at that time, they were the number 2 team, I think, in our district. And that really, the head-to-heads and everything, as far as district play went, that was huge at that time in that game, because that just helped us strategize a little bit different how we play defense. So he is definitely an extra weapon to have, and we're thrilled to be able to have him, and we're also thrilled that you guys recognize that as well and have him selected to your team. So again, I want to also congratulate all the other KRES All-Stars out there that have put the time in and been recognized by KRES and all the other coaches to be a part of this team. Hopefully everybody, if you're going on to the future, good luck to you and you guys that are coming back even next year, as hopefully you do well and take it easy on us when you play us. But anyway, Merry Christmas to you and to everyone in the area, and especially you guys at KRES. I'm sure we'll see you down the road in basketball. And here is Christian Shaparos' certificate. Congratulations, Christian.
All right, that is our KRES All-Star from Milan, Christian Shaparo, along with Coach John Dabney. Christian, congratulations, and Coach Dabney, thanks for the time.
Again, thank you for everything, guys.
Time for another KRES All-Star presentation. We got Monroe City coach David Kirby with us. The Panthers have 3 KRES All-Stars after taking home a quarterfinal finish against the Hayti Indians, 11-2 record. Those 3 KRES All-Stars are senior offensive lineman Beau Patterson, senior running back Joshua Talton, and junior linebacker Keaton Pennywell. Coach, floor's yours.
First off, thank you guys so much for putting this on. It's a huge honor, and we're very blessed to have 3 outstanding young men be named to this team. I'd like to go ahead and present my 3, and I'll start off with junior linebacker Keaton Pennywell. Keaton's a very special player for me. Obviously, he's a returning All-Stater from his sophomore year, and I feel that he's probably going to get some more accolades. But to be a multiple-time All-Stater and then to be a KRES All-Star is a huge honor. And he has had an exceptional year, over 130 tackles, also doing double duty as a running back for us. And, you know, he's fallen in some big footsteps, obviously, with his family and the pedigree. But he plays so much bigger than, a lot of people. You know, as a 6'1", 215-pound kid, he is a big kid. But he plays physical, plays fast. I'm very blessed that he's on our team. I'm glad he's a junior and he's coming back. And I can't say enough about his work ethic. You know, he's the first person to practice, last one to leave type kid, works extremely hard, very humble in his approach to the game, and he tries to make everybody better. And he is one of the reasons that we've been so successful, you know, and I'm very thankful to have Keaton, and I'm thankful he's coming back for another year, our first All-Star, Keaton Pennywell.
Thank you.
Our next All-Star, senior offensive lineman, Beau Patterson. Beau's a kid that has worked his way up from his freshman year into becoming one of the better offensive linemen that I've coached. You know, Beau is a fun-loving kid. He keeps practice really light and loose. I know sometimes I can get worked up, and Beau always kind of reels us back in and keeps it fun and reminds us that it is a game. I really like that Beau brought a passion and an aggression to playing offensive line, and to see his growth from his sophomore year to his senior year is such a vast improvement. I'm very proud of him. You know, he really came into his own as a senior. He was a leader for our team. He was a leader for our offensive linemen. He showed a lot of younger kids how to play the position and play it well while also having fun. And I'm just very blessed that Beau has been recognized as one of the KRES All-Stars this year. I know he's going to have a bright future in whatever he chooses to do. You know, and Beau, like I said earlier, I hope you keep that same, happiness, fun-loving spirit. You're a great athlete. You're a great offensive lineman, but you're an even better kid, and I'm super excited for what you have in store for the future. So, second All-Star, Beau Patterson. Our third All-Star is kind of Mr. Everything. He's been a multiple-time KRES All-Star, multiple-time All-Stater, Joshua Talton. he's pretty good at basketball and he's pretty good at track too. But he's a special talent. And, I told Josh before, I said, I've learned more from him. He's helped me become a better coach. And I think that's one of the things about him is he's willing to step into a role to be a leader, but also ask questions and be the guy that holds people accountable. He is a special talent, and I'm very excited to see. One, I'm glad he came out for football. I love the fact because he's one of those kids that could have easily said, I'm going to play basketball, or I'm just going to do track. But the contact part, I think that's what he liked about it. He liked to go out there and be physical with people, and he's become a very special player. He's one of very few kids that is a 3-time All-Stater in football, and that's a pretty big deal at Monroe City. There are not a lot of those kids, and he really excelled this year. Improved offensively, defensively. He could have been put up on either side of the ball, and Josh has been a really good one for 4 years for us, and I'm really going to miss him. I'm proud of him. I know he's going to do some big things in whatever he chooses to do. He's a man of faith, a man of high character, and he's made us a better program, and he's made me a better coach over the years, and I'm really thankful for that. So, Josh Talton.
And now, congratulations, Beau, Josh, and Keaton. Coach, just a quick follow-up question for you. Special group this year for the Panthers, first district title since you guys won it all back in 2017. What did those three do in particular to make this year's team special?
Just their faith in this program and what they've brought to it has been a special thing. I said that about Beau. Beau's a lighthearted guy. He's a big man, but he's a lighthearted guy, and he kept practices moving real smooth sometimes. And, I might get worked up, and then all of a sudden he's cutting a joke, and I'm like, oh, my goodness. And then Josh was one of those kids that could stay in the moment. Big games, he's a big-time player, and the lights were never too bright for him. And he rallied people around him. They always had that sense of belief that if he could do something, that he could make something happen, and the kids knew that. And then Keaton was kind of that, that hammer that would, take care of the loose ends. He understood what we wanted on defense. He was our defensive captain. And then offensively, he was able to, really take the load at our fullback spot. And between him and Josh, they were a great 1-2 punch. And you throw those three kids in together, they really did a great job of bringing kids into this program, bringing kids into enjoying, practices, which were tough. I say that often, like we do have some hard practices. We have a lot of high expectations, and those kids understood those expectations. They carried those expectations with them, and they got everybody and brought them on board, and they didn't let people slack. They really tried to hold themselves to a high level, and that's why we've been successful as kids like this who just work their tail off and do everything that they can to make the program better. They don't care about the individual stuff. They care about making the team the best it can be, and that's why we're a pretty good program right now because of kids like that.
Again, Monroe City football coach David Kirby joining us here. Coach, appreciate the time. And then once again, big congratulations to Joshua Talton, Keaton Pennywell, and Beau Patterson. Keaton and Joshua, 2-time KRES All-Stars, and Beau, a first-time KRES All-Star. Gentlemen, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time for another KRES All-Star presentation. We're going to check in with the North Shelby Raiders. They got 2 KRES All-Stars this year after making a run to the 8-man football semifinals. They got the athlete in Kale Stoneburner and defensive lineman Justin Lunsford. And here to make the presentation is first-year North Shelby coach David Stuckey. Coach, floor's yours.
Well, first of all, we just want to thank everybody there in KRES world, for all the support that you do for high school athletics. It's really neat. I know we listen to the game, the countdown shows and all that after post-game shows coming back home. All the coverage you do for high school athletics, we're just so appreciative of there that you do. We have 2 KRES All-Stars here right now. We've got Killstone Burner and Justin Lunsford. And I tell you what, they represent everything that's right about North Shelby athletics, the way they work in the off season, the way that they perform. And they'll both tell you that they're here because they had several really good teammates working with them. But first of all, Kale this year in 28 quarters of playing quarterback was an 1,000 athlete, rushed for 1,000 yards, threw for 1,000 yards. Also was very intimidating on the defensive side
where he played our box safety. He'd come down and he had several interceptions and then had a couple of critical turnovers that helped us move forward on the other way. Kale's leadership, when we'd get in tight situations, the way he would get the offensive huddle straightened back out, make sure everybody had their assignments right, make sure we were in the right spot at the right time. I cannot stress enough how much that leadership meant to the team in those critical situations as we were sitting there moving down towards the state semifinals. And so also we have Justin Lunsford here, who is again on the KRES All-Star defensive lineman and running back. In fact, was named the 8-man defensive lineman or defensive player of the year for all defensive players of the state. Very disruptive on that side, led the state in sacks, was 16, had 32 tackles for loss, very disruptive there for the defensive line. Had 1,000 yards rushing as well for us in a balanced attack. These guys were a 1-2 attack on the rushing game. You had to make sure one was usually going one way and one was going the other way, and so you had to decide who you're going to take your poison with. And so, again, I think both these guys will tell you they're linemen, they're receivers, everybody else on the team represents them, just like they're standing here in front of me now. And so, first of all, Kale, I'd like to present to you your KRES All-Star Award. Thank you. Justin, I'd like to present you with your KRES All-Star Award. Thank you.
Congratulations, gentlemen, and a well-deserved honor. Coach, just want to ask you one quick follow-up question with these boys. We knew the talent was there with the North Shelby group over the past couple of years, and they were going to have a lot of aspirations. But with you coming in during this time where you got the senior core coming in, how easy did those two make it in particular to get things implemented and just get the ball rolling right going from the word go?
Well, again, because they had a desire and had high goals, high goal expectations. In fact, we didn't reach our highest goal. We wanted to win it all, but we knew the chase of that. These guys were very focused and were willing to do whatever it took for us to get there. Their work ethic, their focus. And when we went to camp, we started camp in July, and 9 days later we went to a team camp, performed very well up there. And so we knew things were going to go good. I mean, did we make a lot of mistakes? Yeah, but that was just 9 days in. I knew right then and there that these guys really wanted to accomplish a lot of great things this year.
Again, North Shelby's David Stuckey, head coach, joining us here, and their two KRES All-Stars, the athlete Cale Stoneburner and defensive lineman Justin Lunsford. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on your KRES All-Star.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This KRES All-Star presentation is going to feature Alex Long, a linebacker voted to the team from the Scotland County Tigers. And with our presentation is Tigers head coach Troy Carper. Go ahead, Coach.
Thank you. I have the honor of introducing one of the hardest working athletes to come walk through our hallways here at Scotland County. He spends countless hours lifting weights and practicing the needed skills to be successful. This individual is a 3-year starter on offense and defense here at Scotland County, 3-year academic All-State, 2-time KRES All-Star, earned multiple All-Conference and All-District honors. His career stats speak for themselves. 294 tackles, 8 interceptions. I know at least 4 of those are for touchdowns, 3 fumble recoveries. One of those I know for a touchdown because he had a fumble recovery and an interception in the same game. Both go for touchdowns. So I'm going to now introduce Alex Long, a 2021 KRES All-Star at linebacker. A few more things. Alex is a great role model here at Scotland County for our kids. He shows up to school every day at 6 o'clock for weights. He is constantly pushing himself and his twin brother Hayden. Those two go at it in the weight room, in the classroom. That's constantly pushing each other. He takes care of business in the classroom, in the community, weight room, and any playing surface that he steps on. And he can do anything he puts his mind to. He has an extremely bright future, and some college is going to be really lucky to have Alex on their team, whether that be for football or track. Congratulations, Alex. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. You mentioned your twin brother. Take me to the backyard. Did you guys roughhouse? Is that kind of where you became a good linebacker?
Yeah,
Probably. That's probably where it came from.
I'm just curious, guys, as you watched, I know you had some tough losses there early and you had Marceline beat. When you watched Marceline go all the way to the state championship, what were your emotions?
That was a big one on our list. We've never beat, I don't know if a team's ever beat Marceline here at Scotland County. So we felt like we let one get away, and then it stung a little more there at the end. It really did. But like I told the kids, we've played with them it seems like every year. We just can't put a complete game together and get the win.
But it did speak to your talent, right, Alex, that you could play with the best in the state.
Yeah, definitely. It showed. I think it showed a lot. Losing them by one, whether it was them playing bad or us playing really good, and then them going all the way to state championship, I think it speaks a lot that there is talent here.
Alex, congratulations on being voted to our team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, thank you guys for everything you do.
You bet. Appreciate you calling in on End Zone every Friday night. Troy Carper, head coach of the Scotland County Tigers, with his all-star Alex Long, linebacker. On our KRES All-Star show, let's introduce you to our Western Hornet All-Stars. Quinn Massey, linebacker, a senior. Langdon Kitchen, defensive lineman, a junior. And with our presentation, here is Hornets coach Erin O'Loughlin.
First off, the Western Hornets would like to thank all the support throughout the season, and especially the parents of these two young men and the rest of the team. And I know that these guys appreciate the support throughout the season as well, and appreciate the push from their teammates and the teammates who help them get these achievements. And personally, I'd like to thank my family and the administration and school board here at Western High School for these opportunities, and KRES for this great recognition of our player athletes and throughout the season, both with coverage of games and the Friday night show. We appreciate it, and I've said before, I was in South Missouri for a couple of years, and they don't have this kind of coverage, and it's something that a lot of the community members as well as the school districts appreciate. With that said, first I'll talk about my junior here, Langdon Kitchen. He's over here, the tall one. He's our lineman on both sides of the ball. Really helped us out this season, and he's a physical player and one who works hard in the weight room throughout the season. Right now, he's coming in the mornings. It's not a requirement, but it's something that he feels is important, and he's working on for next season. But he's also in basketball mode, and he's a starter on the basketball team. So he's been busy and had a couple days. I told him probably better take it a little bit easy. You're gonna have a big game tonight, whatnot. But that credit to his work ethic and his future leadership role as a senior next year, and we're looking forward to having him come back and playing a big part in our season next year. And I know that he'll do good things, and he's a good student as well, and he's up there in GPA, and we'll be working on his ACT to be looking at the whole college side of things as things start rolling. So we're excited for him, and again, excited that he's a junior, and just real proud of what he was able to accomplish this season. But at the same time, I'm not satisfied with where he's at, and I know that he wouldn't want me to be satisfied with where he's at, and he's not either, and we'll continue to improve. And I want to say congratulations to Langdon Kitchen. And next, I'll talk about my senior, Quinn Massey. Quinn played both running back and linebacker for us. He's an important leader on this team. He's been going to the weight room since probably second semester of sixth grade. There's a lot of times that was not necessarily by choice at the younger ages. His dad was obviously the football coach before me, and still very involved, and it does a great job of helping push his kids and getting them up and getting them here. And really, I'd say end of Quinn's sophomore year, he started getting in the mix at linebacker, and that's when he really started to think, you know what, this whole lifting thing and working at it is maybe going to pay off. So the end of his sophomore year and junior year, he really started working at it. And the biggest improvements were the end of his junior year into his senior year, making gains in the weight room and really working at track. I really feel like track played a big role in Quinn's success this season, just due to the speed that he was able to build throughout the year last spring. And he was a little slower of foot as a junior, and as a senior led us in tackling. And I really feel like a big part of that was just his speed, and he was able to do that while playing running back. And everybody knows that when you're having to tote the ball, 20 times plus a game, that being a leading tackler on defense, you got to be a pretty good player. And he's a smart player for us too, and kind of a quiet leader at times. At times he did show his vocal side, and you got to have a little bit of both, and he did a great job with that, and great job of being a leader in the classroom and in the community as well, as he's somebody that's, he's helping in yards around town. And I can say that about Langdon too. I didn't mention both these guys are always helping out people in the community or helping youth football and things of that nature. And, I think that goes to show successful people in general are willing to help out and help in different ways in their communities. And these two guys are good examples of that. And, Quinn specifically, we're going to miss him as a senior, as a leader. And just as a young man, I'm fortunate enough he's my neighbor, so I'll still get to see him, and hopefully he'll still help me out every now and then around the yard and whatnot. And I'm glad I've gotten to coach these two guys, and looking forward to getting to coach Langdon again, and looking forward to seeing what the future holds for Quinn.
All right, to go ahead and present the certificate to Quinn, and we have, very nice, we have two West Strand Hornets on two levels of defense. We have a defensive lineman, a linebacker. Guys, how did you two play off of each other on Friday nights defensively? Quinn, we'll start with you. You're the upperclassman.
All right, well, basically every time the ball went away from Langdon, I felt like it was my job. Every time the ball went to his side, I knew there's no way it was getting outside, so I made sure to stay inside of him, keep the ball from getting in upfield. And, I feel like I could really rely on him to do his job and get the tackles when they needed to be done. And, yeah, it's nice to have that really strong DN.
Go ahead, Langdon.
I felt like I could just push the ball back inside to Quinn every time. I know he'd be there to make the play. And I knew if I couldn't get there, I knew Quinn would be able to make a play. But I heard his name a lot on Friday nights. He at least helped me a lot on the field. If I wasn't there, he was always there. Always a great leader on the team. And we're going to do that next year.
Well, congratulations, guys, on earning this award voted on by area coaches. Coach Erin O'Laughlin, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. West Strand representatives on the KRES All-Star Football team, Quinn Massey, linebacker, and Langdon Kitchen, defensive lineman.